Hi everyone, welcome to another video in the SC-400 exam study guide prep series. In this particular video, we're going to talk all about trainable classifiers, knowing what they are, knowing when to use them, knowing which Microsoft Purview solutions they can be used with. We'll look at the built-in ones and we'll show you, as best we can, because it's not the easiest thing to demo, how to create your own custom trainable classifier, test it, and then put matches or not matches against it. We'll get to that in a second. Before we do, just a reminder to please hit that subscribe button. I'm aiming for 7,000 subscribers by this time next week as I publish this video. I may get there, I may not. I certainly won't without your support. So please do spread the word and get everyone you know to hit that subscribe button and the notifications bell as well. And finally, before we get into the video, one last thing, I've got some new intro music coming up, so let me know what you think of it. This was created for me by my very dear friend Curtis, who has been on the channel before. Curtis, you'll know from the Azure Corner. He's got a wonderful new YouTube channel just launched, so get yourself subscribed to that. We'll put the link to Curtis's channel in this video as well. But Curtis does the most wonderful intros. I'm not very good at producing these, so I asked him, would you mind having a go at one for me? And I absolutely love the results. I'm sure you'll feel the same. So once and only once I'm going to do this. I'm going to steal Curtis's wonderful catchphrase. I won't do it again because it'll be gimmick infringement, but it seemed appropriate for this very first time, and I am going to say, play it! Didn't do that as well as Curtis, did I? So let's talk trainable classifiers here, and in our study guide for exam SC-400, it is the second section to learn in the exam. We've been through creating and managing sensitive information types. We now need to focus on these items here: create and manage trainable classifiers. We need to identify when to use them, design and create them, test them and retrain them. So not a massive amount to get through, but let's see what it's all about. And at learn.microsoft.com, let's learn about trainable classifiers. What are these? What do they do for us? Let's take a look. Well, categorizing and labeling content so it can be protected and handled properly is the starting place for information protection discipline. Microsoft Purview has 3 ways to classify content. We've got a tip here relating to E5 licenses, and if you're not an E5 customer, you can use a 90-day Microsoft Purview trial to explore the features that you aren't licensed for, like trainable classifiers, which is an E5 feature. So let's get back to this though. 3 ways to classify the content. Number 1 is manually. Manual categorizing requires human judgment and action. Users and admins categorize content as they encounter it. You can use either the pre-existing labels and sensitive information types or custom created ones. You can then protect the content and manage its disposition. Number 2, automated pattern matching. These categorization mechanisms include finding content by keywords or metadata values, using previously identified patterns of sensitive information like social security, credit card, or bank account numbers, recognizing an item because it's a variation of a template, document fingerprinting, which we've covered previously, and using the presence of exact strings, exact data match. So we've covered all of these already. And the third one is classifiers, which is what we're going to be talking about here. And this categorization method is well suited to content that isn't easily identified by either manual or automated pattern matching methods. This method is more about using a classifier to identify an item based on what the item is, not by elements that are in the item. A classifier learns how to identify a type of content by looking at hundreds of examples of the content you're interested in identifying. We've got a note here. In Preview, you can view the trainable classifiers in Content Explorer by expanding the trainable classifiers in the Filters panel. The trainable classifiers will automatically display the number of incidents found in various M365 services. Interesting. Okay, so where can you use the classifiers? Currently, they're available to use as a condition for Office auto labeling with sensitivity labels, auto apply retention label policy based on a condition, communication compliance. Sensitivity labels can use classifiers as conditions, and we can use it in data loss prevention as well. What types of classifiers are there? There are pre-trained classifiers. Microsoft has created and pre-trained multiple classifiers that you can start using without training them. These classifiers will appear with the status of ready to use. And there are custom trainable classifiers. If you have content identification and categorization needs that extend beyond what the pre-trained classifiers cover, you can create and train your own classifiers. And this document here goes on to show you more information about custom classifiers and the process flow for creating them, and so on and so forth. Retraining classifiers is important as well, and we'll come back to that a little bit later in this video. Let's go into the Microsoft Purview Compliance portal right now, though, and have a look at this in action. We are at compliance.microsoft.com, logged in here as a global admin. Make sure you select the correct permissions, only what you need as usual. And we want to look in data classification and classifiers. We've been in here quite a bit recently. We've looked at sensitive info types. We've looked at EDM classifiers. Now is the time we focus on trainable classifiers, and here we go. Use our built-in custom classifiers to identify specific categories of content based on existing items in your organization. Once created, classifiers can be used in several compliance solutions, as we've already seen. So we've got 111 items in here. Let's just kill that sidebar so we get a bit more screen space. And here we can see the name of the classifier, the accuracy, the status, ready to use, the type built in, the language created by Microsoft, date last modified, and last modified by whom. So these ready to use ones are the ones that Microsoft have created. So if we just flip the, I don't want to resize the column, I want to change it to view it from the bottom upwards, but never mind. I'm just trying to recall if I've ever actually created one myself, and I don't believe I have, but let's go through the process of what these look like. But we can take a look at one of the built-in trainable classifiers. So let's pick on a bank statement, for example. If we go into here, let's see what this looks like. Now, as ever with most of these Microsoft Purview solutions, it's going to give us an overview, recommendation, check back when there are matching items, because there aren't at the moment. We can specifically go into matched items. We can go into feedback. We could test here and upload a bank statement and see if it's a match, or upload a document that is quite obviously not a bank statement, and it should come back and say that is not a match. So you can see the potential of how we can use these built-in classifiers right here. Now, I don't believe we can edit these baked-in ones. I've selected it there, and I'm not getting any edit options. So these baked-in ones, these built-in ones are all ones that you can use as part of DLP, as part of those solutions that we went over in the intro part of this video. But you can create your own custom trainable classifier. So if we do that, let's see what it looks like. So name and describe your trainable classifier. So enter a name that best describes the category, for example, NDA forms or employee agreements. So let's actually type in, let's try employee agreements, and let's see what we can come up with. Okay, always put in a description. I'm going to be lazy here and not do so though. And here is where we have to provide some seed content from SharePoint. So to create the classifier, we need to provide some seed content that is related to the category you want to classify. Microsoft will then process that content to identify similarities. Supported content includes Office docs such as Word, PowerPoint, Excel, PDFs, text files, and other file types. So you can learn here what is supported. And it's recommended here to choose specific folders for each site so we can seed the classifier with files that are most related to the type of content you want to classify. So what we would do here is we would go to Add Sites. We can put in the exact site URL that we want. We can go to choose a particular site, and it will give you the sites that are available to you. And I can add in this MS-500 site, for example. I could add more in there, but just so show you the process of creating this, I'll go through and I will select that. So I've probably not given this a great name because I know that site is called, it relates to book chapters. So let me just change the name of this just to try and make it a bit more appropriate. Book chapters, these are the chapters of one of my books, and I know MS-500 and now defunct exam is all about that. So there we go, we've named it book chapters now. We've selected a SharePoint seed content area, and we can go ahead and create that trainable classifier. So it's submitting that now for us. Wonderful stuff. So hopefully that shouldn't take too long. There we go, that just took a few seconds, and now we can click on done. So let's just see if we can see that in our list. Is that going to appear at the bottom of the list? Ah, there we go. We got a new sort of section at the bottom here where it's saying that the trainable classifier is in progress. It's a custom type of trainable classifier, and it's in the training stage. So we can see that it was created by my tenant name on this date and by me. So that's good. If we can refresh to see the status of that trainable classifier, and it's probably going to take some time to go ahead and train that. While we're waiting for that though, why don't we just take a look at one of these built-in trainable classifiers and how we can leverage that within some of our Purview features. Let's pick on wire transfer, for example. So if I go to, let's bring out this side panel again. Let's go into DLP, data loss prevention and policies. There we go. Let's just very quickly create a policy, and what we'll do is we'll create a custom policy, and we'll just call it wire transfers, and okay, validating. We'll skip the admin units, we'll just select a few different locations and create customized advanced DLP rules. So if I go into create, I'll just put wire transfers again there. It's given me a suggestion. Add a condition, content contains, and I'm going to add in, there we go, we got trainable classifiers available to us, as well as sensitive info types, which we've used previously. So I can search my trainable classifiers here. Wire transfer, wonderful. So we can go into there, and it's really that simple. What that's going to do now, it's going to apply the same principles that you would have of any DLP policy with sensitive information types match, but it's going to match against any documents across what you've selected in the policy, Exchange, Teams, etc., SharePoint sites that have a match for a wire transfer. So it's as simple as that. So it's very, very similar process to that of doing of referencing sensitive information types in any of the Purview features that we have available. So I'll not go ahead and complete that. I'll just confirm that I don't want to do so. And we'll just quickly go back to classifiers and trainable classifiers. We'll just go down and see, is that still being trained? And it still is being trained. It could take some time to do so, I would say, but let's just have a little look in this wire transfer one that we selected, just to get a bit of information on what that is going to do. So here we can see the details of this. Wire transfer is a method of electronic funds transfer from one person or entity to another. And this model captures all the wire transfer receipts and acknowledgements. So where can you use it? So each of these baked in ones is going to say where you can use it. You can use it in information protection, data lifecycle management, communication, compliance. So that's pretty cool. But again, you can't alter that one. So these are the ones that you can't change, which is why the custom ones are quite useful indeed. Okay, so one last little look at back in trainable classifiers. Let's just, yeah, okay, so we're still training. I wonder if we get a if we open the flyout panel here, do we get any indication on how long that is going to take? No, what it's telling us as next steps are test the classifier by providing us with content that's related and content that's unrelated to the category you want to classify. Will then return a prediction for each item as to whether or not it's relevant to the category. Okay. We can then review and increase the classifier's accuracy by reviewing the prediction for each item. And then you can let Microsoft know if we agree or disagree if it's relevant to the category. So yeah, and then once we're happy, we can then publish that. But we can't do this until the initial training has completed. So we're going to have to wait a little bit for that. But while we wait, let's just take a look at the information on the Learn page about how we retrain classifiers. And here we can see that we can improve the accuracy of all custom trainable classifiers by providing them with feedback on the accuracy of the classification that they perform. And this is called retraining and follows this workflow here. So a published classifier is used as a condition in an office auto labeling policy, as an example here, a retention label policy, or a communication compliance policy. So the items are classified. The admin uses feedback flyout to evaluate the performance of the classifier, whether it's a match or not a match, and then suggests more appropriate classifier, then sends feedback to the classifier. Okay, fantastic. So then what we find next is, as we go down the flow, 30 instances of feedback accumulate for a classifier. The classifier retrains 1 to 4 hours max, twice a day. Admin does side-by-side evaluation of retraining predictions and current published classifier predictions. Then is retrained classifier better than the published version? We have a decision to make here, no or yes. If yes, then we can publish the classifier, make it available for use in compliance solutions. If no, well, do we want to improve it? No. If no, take no action, leave the current published version in place. If yes, we go back through the process, and then we go back through the flyout to evaluate the performance of the classifier and look at the matches, and you can see how that works. So provide match, not a match accuracy feedback in trainable classifiers. So you can view the number of matches a trainable classifier has in Content Explorer and trainable classifiers. You can also provide feedback on whether an item is actually a match for or not a match using the match, not a match feedback mechanism, and use that feedback to tune your classifiers. And there's some more information here about increasing classifier accuracy. We'll certainly include that in the description of this video as well. So while we looked at that retraining section there, we can see that our training of our book chapters custom classifier has got a bit further, and it now needs some test items. So let's go into it and see what we get. Okie dokie. So not a lot of stuff on this screen, but we need items to test. So if we click on items to test, then what we can do is we can add sites that contain both good and bad examples of the type of content you want to classify. Could be in a ratio of 50-50, 80-20, etc. Some tips here for best results. These test sites should be different from the sites you use to seed the content when creating the classifier. Include sites that contain at least 200 items. We can test a maximum of 10,000 items. And it will take around an hour to process and predict matches for every 1,000 test items. So you can see there's a bit of work involved in creating and testing and retraining your custom trainable classifiers here. But we can go in, we can add sites, we can enter an exact site URL, we can choose sites again. Now, I'm going to choose some sites that I know are not related to what I want. So I'll just create put a link to a couple of sites here that I know are not going to be a match. I'll ignore the advice that it gave me, and I will include the chapter site in there just for the purposes of demonstrating, because I know that is going to contain some matches. So what you can do here, when you've got them added, you can specifically go down and select folders if you so wish, but you don't have to do so. I'm happy with that. I'm going to click on add, and it's going to go off and do its stuff. So that will likely take quite a bit of time for sure. So now that that's done, it's showing as in test and review. And if we open up the classifier again, it looks like nothing's really happening at this time, but we need to be patient, as we saw from the wizard when we were setting it up. This is going to take some time, so we need to wait a while, come back to this, and then in these analyze screens, which are very, very similar to a lot of other things in the compliance portal, like e-discovery and that sort of thing. Very, very similar look and feel. We'll get matches here, and then or not matches, and we'll be able to put a tick against match or is not a match, and that's how we train the classifier. I'm hoping that you get the gist of that for sure. So quite a difficult feature to demonstrate effectively, because it's very stop-start. And what I may do as an addition to this video, look out for it, if I'll put a card on the video here that you can click on if I can do so. I'll do a short video just showing the matches that came up when this process was complete. So click on that card link when you see that come up, and it'll take you to the short. Amazing. There you go, trainable classifiers in a nutshell. Have you used them? Have you had any particular stories with them? Let me know in the comments. I hope that all made sense. It's, as I said, not the easiest subject to demo. There's a lot of fiddly work involved, especially with the custom trainable classifiers, in terms of making things a match and not a match and retraining them. But once you get the hang of it, once you get into the flow of it in real world scenarios, I'm sure you'll understand the benefit of using them in your Microsoft Purview deployments. Wonderful stuff indeed. Right. Thank you to all of my wonderful subscribers, to my wonderful members as well. I do appreciate you all. If you're not subscribed already, please hit that button. It's free, takes a second to do so, helps me so much. Give me a massive thumbs up as well if you like this video, and hit that notifications bell so you never miss a video on the channel. Amazing. Right, let's wind this one up, and I will see you in another video very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.